Admittedly, I took a little bit too long trying to decide what I wanted to do for this episode. We left the last episode, of course, after having won the World Series. We began to go through the offseason, and now that we're here, free agency's arrived. There are some decisions that have to be made. Of course, we're trying to re-sign certain players. That shouldn't be a big deal. The big deal, though, comes in the form of, do we hand a big deal to a Clayton Kershaw, a Mike Trout, a Corey Kluber, a Mookie Betts? That's where the big decisions come in. Of course, we're keeping an eye on Chris Sale. We have a qualifying offer out for. Hopefully somebody signs him and we get compensation. On the flip side, Brad Hand is also on the free agent market. Hopefully he resigns. And, of course, we sent a lot of offers out to some pretty decent prospects. None better than Joel Pena, though. Hopefully he signs. Here's what I've come up with. I don't know if it's what's best for this team, but I think this is what I'm most comfortable in going for. So when talking about starting pitching, you look at who we have here with Tyon, Lamet, Wood, Eflin, and Liriano. That's a pretty good rotation. If we were to sign a Kershaw or a Kluber, obviously it would be better, and that would keep us closer to true contention. But when you factor in some of the starting pitching prospects we have, including Henry Murillo, who's down there just below Liriano, who is very close to being Major League ready, it seems like it might be a better idea to just kind of go and build from within now at this point. Of course, we hit our goal of winning. We're not in desperation mode to win a World Series right now. And for the most part, we have the talent on the team that got the job done to begin with. Of course, we just won the World Series without Chris Sale. So I don't think I want to hand one of those major offers. Again, Kershaw, $31 million. That is max money. I could probably work this out by going 2 years with a player option, and he might accept. But is it really worth it? I'm not sure. It is, but it isn't. We got the job done. It's a new contract. I think I want to focus on trying to develop some talent now, so I'm going to hold off on re-signing Sale and sending an offer out to Kershaw and Kluber. As far as the bullpen goes, I mean, for the most part, we're good as it is. Blake Parker or Ken Giles may be signed if Brad Hand declines. Hopefully he will not, though. That basically leaves us, although I was tempted to sign Simmons, although you can see the top three shortstops that we have there. We don't need him, although he's a very good defensive option. That leaves us with a decision to make in the outfield as far as Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, and Jake Marisnick. I'm going with Marisnick. I honestly cannot remember. I have heard people pronounce his name multiple different ways. And unfortunately for me, he is kind of my leading candidate to sign right now. We have Evisel Garcia in right, but he's not a very good fielder, and that's certainly something we want to improve, is the speed and defense of our team. We do have Inciarte and Herrera. You could argue that once we signed DeShields, we could move him on or just keep him as a pinch running option. And then Rhys Hoskins, ideally, is a DH, or perhaps play him at first and move Junior back over to third to make that happen. So I'm tempted here to go for Mike Trout because it's Mike frickin' Trout. But again, that's a max money move. And I don't necessarily like handing out max contracts. I just don't. Mookie Betts is looking for basically $23 million, and we could sign him, no problem, and still have a lot of money left over. But those big money contracts are something that I tend to shy away from. The most expensive player on the team right now is DJ LeMahieu. Obviously, that's not going to hold for too much longer when certain contracts are up. But I like to try and keep this team in check, especially when we don't have the biggest budget in the league. I mean, I'm sure if we could look at a budget for a team like the Yankees, obviously, they'd have a lot more money to spend. So I think what I'm going to do, of course, aside from trying to sign these prospects that we found, I'm going to go for Jake Marisnick just to improve the defense and speed of this team. He's coming off of a career year, so there's a lot of positives there. He is looking for a little bit more money than I would prefer, but I think we can pull this off. And to be honest, I'm going to see what's like the lowest offer I can possibly give him. Even if I can get that down to 2 years at $10 million, just to save a little bit of money. And we'll see what happens there. And that's pretty much all I'm going to be looking to do, is just re-sign the players that we have to re-sign, hope that Brad Hand resigns, hope that Chris Sale gets a good offer, and that we get the majority of those prospects. Alonso, Brandt, and Delabate, Gonzalez as well, have refused their offers. Ken Giles has gone to the Angels. Okay, well, there's Brad Hand's replacement that just left, so we better hope that Brad Hand resigns, or we could be in a little bit of trouble. Let's go ahead and send these offers back out. Whoops, I wanted to offer him a little bit more than that. And Delabate was the other one. How I remember those four, honestly don't know. But there you go, Ken Giles to the Angels. We'll sim another day, nothing yet. DeShields and Crockett, the only two arbitration-eligible holdouts thus far. And let's take a look. So nothing yet from Hand. Oh, boy. Oh, no. Oh, we could lose Brad Hand here, which isn't the end of the world, but it could still suck. No offers out for Chris Sale yet. And did Marisnik signed elsewhere? What the hell? Or did he sign here? All transactions, please? What happened? Free agency. Yes, hey, we got Joel Pena. Oh my god, the amount of offers. Well, we got Joel Pena. We got Marisnik too. Okay, it wasn't a big enough deal for them to announce it, but there we go. So we signed that big-time starting pitching prospect, Joel Pena, along with a ton of other players, but perhaps most importantly, Jake Marisnik. Welcome to Toronto. Welcome to this outfield that kind of desperately needed you. So already, we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty damn good. We still have offers out to two other prospects, but neither of whom are tremendous, and Brad Hand. We still have to see what happens with Chris Sale. And I gotta be honest, the longer that takes, I mean, I'm so tempted because I know I still have the money to sign Mookie Betts. I know that I do. And I still have the money to sign Simmons. I don't know if I want to. For 15, I definitely don't want to, just for a defensive improvement. No, thank you. I mean, but kind of, because, you know, he still hit 264 with a 314 on base. I'm tempted is what I'm saying. Here's the problem. If Brad Hand doesn't resign, we pretty much have to throw the money to Davis or Doolittle, which isn't the end of the world. Again, I'd prefer Blake Parker. And to be honest, with that clutch rating, Blake Parker might still be the best option. But we're not going to do anything unless Brad Hand leaves. So let's move forward another day. And, well, there it is. Brad Hand has gone to Minnesota. Now, the positive of this is that he was on a qualifying offer, so we do get some compensation for him leaving. The negative is that we just lost our best closing option. So there's that. We still have one offer out to a prospect right now. So let's take a look here. So that is the... Actually, you know what? Let's go over here. So again, Jerome Germán not quite ready. So if we were to have our top six, I mean, you'd be hard-pressed to say that a Hendricks or an Addison Reed wouldn't be good enough to just be the closer. You know, despite not one of these guys actually being designated as a closer, the bullpen might still be good enough. Maybe. If we just run like an Addison Reed or a Hendricks at closer, I think we'd be okay. I mean, if we were to sign anybody else, all it would do is force us to trade. Like, if we sign anybody else, that just means, okay, Danny Barnes, you're gone. We're, immediately committing to trading you. So I still think, in a way, that we're kind of good. Again, we could re-sign Doolittle at 34. We, of course, had him here last year. He was okay. I mean, he was okay for us in that first year. Last year, it was a little bit rough. He ended up settling down, though, and finishing with a decent whip at the very least. ERA, of course, was high, but in relievers. And then Blake Parker. Very tempted. What's he looking for at 35? I could go 1 year, 5.2. That's very cheap for him, man. I know at 35, we run the risk of him declining. That's a solid option. So again, Doolittle, over the course of these first 3 years, has been okay. 1-1 and then 2 1-2s. Oop. And Parker, 1-2, 1-2, and a 1-0. They've really been about the same. Parker just had a better season last year. And then, of course, there are still the offers for certain starters, but I think I'm pretty much committed to not doing that. This might be a mistake. I think I'm just going to keep the bullpen the way it is. I really do. We'll just have Hendricks or Addison Reed be the closer next season. Could bring in Doolittle. $6.9 million. Nice. Could bring in Blake Parker. Both are decent players. We have $10 million in pending offers right now. It's tough because obviously we're trying to find that balance of, maybe letting some of our younger players work their way into the lineup versus signing players that we can afford and staying uber competitive. Of course, it would be easy enough to just get Parker, to get Sean Doolittle, and just trade away the Tyler Lyons and the younger overalls. And trust me, I'm tempted. Very tempted, because it is that easy. It is that easy. And to be honest, I might do it. Just to keep this team overly competitive. Mookie Betts still has no offers. Man, I could sign him and still have plenty of money, too. That might be overkill, because we're already committing after signing Marisnik to having to move out certain players in the outfield anyway. But can you really pass on signing Mookie Betts to a half-decent contract? What's Doolittle looking for again? That's right, 6.9. What's the lowest I can offer Doolittle? 5.6. I know it's going like full try-hard mode here, but I think I'm going to do it in this instance, because it's not, with Parker and Doolittle at the very least, it's not handing out stupidly crazy contracts. And at the most, a Jake McGee, a Tyler Lyons, or maybe some other underperforming player. The only guy to really be concerned about who deserves a spot that might not get it now, I think, is Jordan Hicks, if I go crazy with that. Yeah, because there's really nobody else. There really isn't. So it's like a Kyle Crockett might lose his spot, and Arano might lose his spot. I think I'm gonna do that and just really kind of stock up bullpen wise. And we'll look. I'm very nervous about Sean Doolittle, of course, due to his prior struggles. But if he's willing to accept that offer, which is a low ball offer, I'm willing to take him. Same thing, Blake Parker. Ooh, Blake Parker also wants to be the closer, huh? 84 clutch, 82 clutch. That's a problem with both of them wanting to be the closer, actually. You know what? We'll wait out that situation. In the meantime, Mookie Betts. Mookie frickin' Betts. What is like the low ball offer I can give to Mookie Betts? Say I sign you for 4 years, that brings you to 32. What is the stupid low ball offer I can give you? And even then, it's only going to be saving a couple million. But if we can low ball Mookie Betts at 78.3, I'm sorry, but if I can get Mookie Betts at under $20 million a year, I'm going to do it. At the very least, it's not a max offer like it would have cost for Trout or Kershaw. So we're going to keep an eye on the Parker and Doolittle situation. I'm probably going to sign whoever doesn't sign first, and we'll go from there. I'm still on board with the idea of more than likely... What's the low ball offer on a Kershaw? If I go 2 years with a player option, what's the low ball offer there? See, even then, we're still up around $28 million. And for Kluber, it's not as bad, but it's still kind of rough. We're going to be at about, 21, 20... Oh, my God, wow, Kluber under $20 million as well. I say it all the time, plans change, and I think you could tell by the start of this episode, I wasn't entirely sold on our options here. I still think Kershaw is going to be a bit too expensive, but, again, Mookie Betts on a low ball offer. I'm going to wait to see what happens with him first, because that's higher priority, is sorting out this outfield over bringing in other starting pitchers or relievers. So we'll see what happens, because you never know. Simmons stayed, and Alex Reyes also stayed. Let's take a look. Arbitration, and we still have to hear back from some other players as well. We have 13 days, I do believe. Quintana goes to the Reds. Blake Parker goes to the Cubs. All right, so Parker is off the market. DeShields signed. We only have 3 players left to sign there. We still have our low ball offer out to Betts. I'm going to send a low ball offer out to Sean Doolittle, 1 year at 5.6. We'll see what he thinks about that. And Kluber, again, Kluber's off the market, so Kershaw's the big name there. There are 2 offers out right now to Chris Sale, which is good. Again, we're going to be looking at getting a little bit more compensation. We've already signed Marisnik. And Mookie Betts has gone to the Mets instead, which I'm okay with. Again, we sent him a low ball offer. It would have been worth it to me had he signed for that little. He went to the Mets. I'm cool with that. You can argue, wow, he actually signed for pretty much dirt cheap, too. He just liked the idea of going to the Mets instead of coming here. And Chris Sale, here's the thing. He goes to Cleveland, so that's troublesome for our playoff hopes. We do get compensation. Holy shit, a 6-year deal at 32 years old. Yeah, I think there's no way we were offering him that. So Mookie Betts signs elsewhere, which I'm fine with. And again, Chris Sale is off the market, so we would have gotten compensation for Sale and for Brad Hand. So outfield-wise, we're good now. We'll sort it out based off who we have. We still have that cheap offer out to Doolittle. And if he doesn't sign, then we're good based off of who we have. That's just extra if he does sign. Clayton Kershaw. You know? Oh, boy, you know? I really don't like the idea of this. However, what's the lowball offer here? 57. 2 years with a player option, just like Sale. Oh, what about a club option? That drops it big time. I mean, you'd be hard-pressed to say this isn't worth it. Like, where would we be on the order? So yeah, see, we're way the hell down there. You know what? I'm just going to throw the offer out there. I don't think he's going to take it, nor should he, but if he magically does, then hey, we stole Clayton Kershaw for nothing. So let's go ahead and see, and there you go. So immediately he's like, no, fuck you, you're stupid. So we'll focus on DeShields, German, Vasquez, and Sean Doolittle. But for the most part, I feel good about this. Again, we got the compensation for Sale. We signed quite a few of the high-end prospects. Chris Archer goes to the Rangers. We ended up with quite a few of the high-end prospects. The one downside, of course, is losing Brad Hand. I'm not too happy about that. We have reached our max contract size. Okay. Tigers are offering a trade. Reyes for Montanez. Ooh. Hold on. Let me look at... yeah, no. No. I'm not trading Montanez. Alright, so because of that offer, so I need to look at getting rid of somebody else. I think I just signed Steve Crespo. I definitely did. Steve, I'm going to have to cut a couple of these players. Let's see, who do we have? Actually, you know what? I can look at all. Let's go to overall. Josh Statton, 2043 in a C. 21, 22, 22, 52 in a C. You know what? I'm going to get rid of Statton, I think. So I just wasted some money there, but that's fine. It's not fine. It's quite dumb of me, but that's okay. It's not, though. Emmett Gillespie will also get rid of. So just to make sure that I can send that offer back out to Doolittle. Again, it was, what, 5.6? Yes, it was. So we'll see what happens there. Kershaw, buddy, pal. What do you think about a club option for next year? What do you think about that, buddy-o pal of mine? There's no way he's going to sign, but it's fine. And then DeShields, just to make sure our offer is still out for him, it is. We're going to have to focus on that in about 8 days. Kershaw hasn't immediately rejected our offer, so that's amazing. Let's see, still moving forward. DeShields, I offered 1 year at 2.8, which isn't that surprising. I'm going to go 1 year at 3 mil. And hopefully he'll sign that. I mean, he's looking to be an everyday player. There's no way that's going to happen. So he's going to be gone. Kershaw offers gone. Kershaw goes to the Red Sox. Jesus Christ. It's just a murderer's row. And we bring back Sean Doolittle. So not the best move, but it's a little bit of a redemption story for him, perhaps. So the only thing left now, God, just the AL is just, it's a murderer's row of aces. We'll see what happens with the Shields. Stat was claimed off waivers. That's fine. The Shields, if you could accept, that would be good because we're running out of time, buddy. Can you please? Okay, there we go. So the Shields assigned. We are good to go. So let's do it. 40-man must be set. It is. We're not at risk of losing anybody. Let's move forward. We are good to go. We signed all the prospects that we wanted to. Things, of course, have changed with this team ever so slightly. But I like where we are right now. Stroman goes to the Tigers. Craziness. The one thing that I'm going to want to do here, just in case there's anybody that's half decent in the Rule 5, is I'm going to want to ditch somebody here. And I think it's going to be Rick McLeod. So, sorry, Rick, I'll pay you a little bit of money. Congratulations, you got money for nothing. I just want to make sure I have a little bit of wiggle room. The Nats are offering a trade. Ronaldo Roth and Carlos Ramirez for Austin Blackburn. Well, all right, so Ramirez is MLB ready as a reliever. Okay. I mean, he was MLB ready before. And Roth is 20B and a 56. So is it worth moving out a further along is it worth moving Roth along with Ramirez to get a further along outfield prospect? Based on that speed, I'm tempted to say yes. Let me take a look. Good durability. Play any outfield spot down to a B potential. How's Roth looking? Oh, infield depth, outfield depth. I gotta be honest here too. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could argue that Ramirez is one of the guys who was probably going to go anyway. You know, I'm going to take that, actually. It's a slight upgrade on who we have as far as a prospect. I'm going to take that from Washington. So Austin Blackburn, welcome to the team. The Nationals are offering another trade. Rhys Hoskins. Really? Really? No. Get out of here. Get out of my face with that offer. I don't think so. All of that is good. Arrieta and Gio Gonzalez are still there, huh? Regardless, to the Rule 5 we go. Let's see. Is there anybody here? Dodgers are offering a deal as a party for Matt Hatton. No. Just no. To the Rule 5 we go. Let's see again if there's anybody worth taking as we kind of finalize our roster here. Is there anybody at all who's worth taking? Frankie Montas. Not really. Of course, potential-wise, it's going to be tough to find anybody. And yeah, as it is, most of the rosters are sorted. Yep, there's nobody worth taking. All right, well, we'll just forego the rest of that. And it is off to spring training we go. Which, like I said, heading into this next season, we're still in a very good spot. We still have some moves to make. Jonathan Schopp traded. Jesus Christ, that's a blockbuster. And that seems like a very Orioles thing to do, trading Jonathan Schopp, the Scope, Jonathan Scope, Shop Scope. You always say his name wrong. I'm sorry. It's a meme, though. Sorry. For 37-year-old Joey Votto. They get Peralta out of it. But goddamn, Baltimore. What are you doing? What are you doing? To spring training we go. The big thing here, of course, will be looking through, again, all of the free agents to see if there's anybody worth signing up. But for the most part, I really like where this team is. So let's take a look. Closers. Nobody there. Again, we're looking more for a target age. Someone under like 24 who might be worth it. Romero, not so much. Nottingham, out of Jamaica. Can I sign you? Cool, I can. Santos. Nah, T potential will hold off. And with that, we're good there. Starters. Arrieta. Still a free agent. A little bit surprising. Maybe a cheap option, depending on how much he's looking for at this point. If there's a major injury or something. Aguilera, D potential, no thank you. Santiago, Carmona, Brennan. Santiago isn't terrible. I mean, 56 overall, 21, though. It's kind of low. I'm still going to sign him, though, just to kind of fill out the roster a little bit, which is definitely something we're going to have to do. Catcher, oh, man. Oh, Jonah DiMaggio. Still worth signing, though. Look at his hitting ability. Are you kidding me? Still absolutely worth signing, even with that D potential. I'm going to hand him a little bit of money, too. That is That is worth it. Whoever drafted him and let him go, they might live to regret that. I don't know why I'm kind of panicking, thinking that I missed a starter. But, you know, paranoid 24, paranoia 24, it's a thing. All right, we're good. Especially, too, once you actually find a half-decent prospect like that, really makes it worth it. Acosta's worth signing. Full roster, that's what I was afraid of. So let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am going to have to get rid of somebody to bring in an extra catcher. I just want to make sure that Acosta is the best guy for that spot. And not with Damian Batts there. So Acosta was 22C and a 59. Batts is 20C and a 56. Is there anybody better than that? I doubt it. And that appears to be the case. Let me look at Acevedo again. Alright, so we need to sign Batts as a closer. Or as a catcher. God. I mean, yeah. I was looking back at closers to see if there was anyone I could get rid of. Relievers, I'm sure we have too many. Right. Starters, do we have too many? We probably do. We might have to make a trade, but I do want to remember the fact that that Damian Batts is there. Let's take a look at the roster. So again, closers, we're looking okay. Stevenson has at least one more minor league option, so that's good. Lino's going to want a little bit more playing time. So Stevenson can be down in AAA for one more season. DiMaggio can be there as well, although I kind of want DiMaggio playing. So we're going to go DiMaggio in double. Ben Mesa will be the backup in triple, and Trejo can be in double as well. Please? Let's hit the wrong button. There we go. So again, I'd like to sign one more catcher. At first, we still have Delabate and Albert Clark. Clark, I'm sorry, buddy. You're going to have no trade value either. In ditch you. Go back over to catchers. And let's go ahead and sign Damian Batts. So that solves the catching situation. And we'll put Batts in Class A just as a backup. So, not bad. Not bad at all, especially with Lino still being good enough to be our backup catcher. So we still have Junior, Delabate. Is there anybody else here? And that's the first thing we have to do, actually. How many, 3-for-1s or at the very least 2-for-1 trades can we do? And you could argue it might be worth trading Stevenson. I kind of like him as an option, but it's like we're going to need him to improve soon, or he's just going to be backup catcher value the full time. Biggio, I don't think is going to improve any further. Trent Beal improving as he has is actually slightly problematic. There's got to be someone obvious that we can get rid of, like Jeff Rico. Don't know if he'll have any value. 65. I know we signed some guys for the sake of basically just outright trading them. And then, of course, we're also going to have that problem in the outfield where we have too many people. And just for the fact that the Shields wants to be a starter, he is the right guy to get rid of immediately. And we'll try to tack on Jason Valley. See if we can find a deal. Preferably not within the AL. I'd like to find the best 3-for-1. So we have Logan Allen, 23B and a 71. 25B and a 77 for Alvarez. 22B and a 64. Kind of like Alvarez, but he might be too good to have being, playing in AAA this season. That might be a bit of a waste for him. Whereas Allen, I think within 2 seasons, might be able to become Alvarez level. That's 23B and a 71. 20A and a 52. Rhett Dooley. Hell of a name. Hell of a name. By the way, Tabor and Wilson isn't terrible. But again, I'd prefer a 2-for-1 just to get the most value back. 25B and a 71. Albertos and Jesus. Guerra's just, the overall is quite low. Romero. Barden. Alejandro Gonzalez. If only you were 18. Ramos. Right. And then, of course, we get into like the Rangers and the Braves. Or Rangers and the Mariners. Like I said, I'd prefer the best 3-for-1 deal just to free up spots for potential free agents. I'm going to look at Alvarez and Allen. So let me take a look at Alvarez here. Where is he expecting to play? It's not going to tell me. They actually have him in AAA ball right now. 25B and a 77 against Mackenzie Gore, I wish. Against Logan Allen, 23B and a 71. 4 pitches, not bad. 79 stamina. Again, against Alvarez, 25B and a 77. You know, I think I like the Padres guy a little bit more. Maybe. Neither's great. You know what? No, I'm gonna go for Alvarez here. So let's do that. We'll send DeShields. Not that I want to, but again, DeShields is going to be a problem because I'm not going to play him as an everyday player. I might be able to keep him, though. Maybe. I mean, again, factor this in, right? Hoskins preferably not playing the outfield. So we're looking at an Inciarte, a Marisnik, and probably a Herrera full-time. Probably look to trade Garcia. I might be able to keep DeShields if I play it, if I play everything right, but even then it's up in the air. I think I'm going to try to keep DeShields. I'm going to get rid of Garcia. Let me see. What are the offers for Garcia? And again, the best one offer would be great. 23B and a 68. Yeah, the offers are a little bit weaker. Rhett Dooley, 20A and a 52. Don't know if we'd want to put too much stock into that, but we could. Alberto's 22B and a 71. Let me go back here. Alberto's right now is the best offer there from the Cubs. Mickey Moniak. It's still Alberto's. Jimenez. Nats, Marlins. All right, well, Chicago. I think I'll take Jose Alberto's. We'll send you Garcia, free up a little bit of cash. Jeff Rico, Jason Valley. Let's do that. And we'll see if we can get it to work with DeShields just for the fact that as a pinch running option, he is just too damn good. Let's go back through and look for the prospects. Alex Julio for a D potential guy. You know what? I'm still going to sign him. McGrath, who we actually had before. So again, Julio is only 2 points better. I'm still actually going to sign McGrath for the moment. I might regret that. At second, do we have anybody half decent? Again, Traherne would be a good option just for somebody random. Escalona, Douglas Ota. We need to sort out the roster that we have now. Too many options here. So again, catchers were good. First base kind of up in the air. Any D potential guy really should take a back seat. I just didn't expect there to be this many C potential players. That's the problem. Let me look here actually at... and again, yeah, relievers, we have a bit of an issue. That being, there are too many guys, so we need to sort that out like immediately. Hicks and up all expect to be in the bullpen. That's where we solve this issue. So Liam Hendricks last season was solid. Postseason, I don't remember, honestly, but good enough to stay. Addison Reed's going to stay. Givens is going to stay. Danny Barnes can probably stay. So again, if we have our top 6, that would be it. Crockett, Biagini as a long reliever isn't a terrible idea, though. I actually really like Biagini as the long reliever. Tyler Lyons had that crazy 104. No, wow, Jake McGee actually dropped off quite a bit, too. Arano and Hicks. Hicks actually works as a long reliever with that 40 stamina. So, Biagini, I'm sorry, buddy. I think you're probably on the way out. Just to make room for Jordan Hicks as the preferred long reliever. Which means from there, who the hell do we take? We probably keep Arano just for the fact that he's 26. Which doesn't leave that many spots left. I think Lyons and McGee just try to free up that money. You know, because we're going to keep Hendricks, Reed, Givens, Doolittle. I think these 3 at the very least. Like I said, I'd like to keep Biagini, but it makes sense to have Jordan Hicks be that long reliever. So let's see what we can get for this trio. Rather than just burying guys in the minors again and again. Here, I'd like the best 3 for 1. Jacob Nix, obviously that's not ideal. But 25B and a 71 is the best offer. Rhett Dooley's still there from the Cardinals. Again, 20A and a 52. He could at least be worth flipping. And Mickey Moniak. Actually, Seth Romero, too. Moniak's not a bad option. Alejandro Gomez. 20A and a 55. That might be too good to pass up. And then there's Ramos, 21B and a 65 from the Braves. 21B and a 65. I think Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Although Mickey Moniak's actually slightly ahead in the process. So we either go for the A potential in Gonzalez and hope he develops quickly, or we go for Mickey Moniak. And you know what? The Phillies did us a solid with prior trades. We're going to try to give back and help bolster up their bullpen. Let's take Mickey Moniak. So that works. So again, as far as our top 6, we have Doolittle, Hendricks, Reed, Givens. I mean, I think Kyle Crockett's probably going to have to go. He was a rental last season, as it is. And then from there, I don't know who else goes. Doolittle stays as our closer. Hendricks, Reed, Givens for 4, Barnes is 5th, Arano 6th, Hicks is 5th. Or Hicks would be the odd man out, unfortunately. Again, he wants to play, though, so I don't want to drop him down. I don't know if you can hear that car outside. That's great. Gotta love loud engines for no reason. Gotta love loud engines for no reason. Overcompensation, that's the reason. Danny Barnes. I feel like Danny Barnes is just the odd man out. So that way we go Doolittle, Hendricks, Reed, Givens, Arano, and Hicks as the bullpen. And of course from there, the depth is a little bit weak, but we'll make trades if we have to. So we'll see what we can get for those two. And Lester Martin is okay with running depth right now. So that's fine. Reed Foley's not going to develop at this point. Let's see what we can get for him. So we have, are you serious with all the cars? This is unbelievable. Screw it. Jump cut. You know, I'm just going to throw this out there. If your car engine sounds similar to that of a boat's, there might be an issue with it, but I don't know a fucking thing about motors, so maybe I'm wrong there. This is the best offer, the best 3-for-1 offer that was available. Giovanni Chavez from the Mets. I'm not saying that the Mets have met it again, but they kind of have, as we add yet another strong pitching option to this team. That incredible amount of depth that we have already has only been bolstered. And at this point, I think we pretty much have to focus on solely C potential prospects. There were some half-decent D potential guys. Like someone like Randy Trehearn's not the worst guy in the world to sign for AAA ball. But, you know, the Douglas Otas of the world, they're just making it too easy for us, I guess. Holy shit, Jimmy Benitez had some versatility. So C potential only guys here moving forward. Galvis, though. Right. Mauzul. Santos absolutely needs to be signed. That's not even a question. What about Karofsky? Not quite. Galvis will remember you for a minute. See, that's what I'm talking about with some of these D potential players that just have that kind of stupid attribute layout there. McLeod and Gillespie, not quite worth it. Galvis, I'll remember you. Is there anybody else here as we continue? Sean Bassett, not quite. And Chuck Rodriguez, not quite. In left, Schaefer, who we had before, also still really worth signing. So Schaefer and Gallus are on the radar. Suggs and Redmond, not so much. At center, Brian William, who we had last year, not so much. And at right, Israel Soto. A little bit too low of an overall for that age. Okay, so that's that. That is that. So I'm going to go back to Schaefer. Yeah, you want a platoon role. You're insane. Never mind. We will at the very least sign Galvis. So we're looking good yet again. Scout contracts, we do need to try and optimize this a little bit. So is there anybody better in the international region over Greg Baker? Efficiency's worse, discovery, pitching. Wow, I forgot that our scouts were this bad. Tom Russell's definitely better than Greg Baker, though. So we'll sign Russell more than likely, unless there's someone a little bit better. Efficiency and discovery is okay, but everything else, not so much. Yeah. All right, back to the top of the list. Let's sign Tom Russell for this season. In the West, do we have anybody better? Probably not, and indeed that is the case. I don't think he's moving. Felipe Biden more than likely staying as well. So international. Wait, do we have 2 international scouts? Granted, I mean, again, efficiency discovery makes it better than having Russell. I'm missing someone out in the East. Whoops. How did that happen? I don't think that was the case before. Efficiency for Kirk Bonds is incredibly low. Decent efficiency. You're just not good with pitchers. Kirk Bonds or Kyle Lawrence. The efficiency is low, but everything else is looking okay. I'm going to go for Kirk Bonds over Russell because we're still... Just because of the higher efficiency, I'm going to keep Shelby Sherrill over Tom Russell. So, there we go. That pretty much solves the scouting situation. So that's good. Transactions I don't really have to care about. Scouting I don't really have to care about. So give me 2 seconds. We'll make another jump cut. I will fully optimize this team, and I'll get you a look at what we're looking like heading in to this next season. All right, so we're not quite done with the trades yet, as you might expect. We have a couple of things we have to do. A couple of trades we have to make, of course. We need a couple more relievers. We kind of have an overabundance of starting pitching, which isn't a surprise to anybody, I would imagine. And unfortunately, Trent Beal is going to have to go, particularly if we keep Matt Duffy, which, you know, he deserves a chance. He struggled in the postseason. Regular season, he was okay. We're going to give him another opportunity. And, of course, Arias is kind of the guy that forces my hand on that move. So that is the next step here. Above all else, to look to trade Trent Beal. You could argue Kevin Biggio could be on the way out as well. Which, you know what, I am going to argue that he would make the AAA club a little bit better, but Art Matheny is there, and we'll have him have that go-to spot. And then starting pitching-wise, Lloyd Dominguez is without a doubt the guy to get rid of here. We'll try to get a 3-for-1 if at all possible. That would be preferred, and that's not going to be the case. All right, so we'll try to get a 2 or a 3-for-2. Calero's not terrible. Ton Noble's also not terrible. Skelton, 23 and a 65. It's a little bit weaker. I like the Brewers offer a lot more. Let's see. Hernandez and Bromberg. Not bad. Not bad, nor is that. So let's see. 23B and a 71. That offer from the Dodgers is strong. Hernandez and Bromberg. That's the better way to go, for sure. All right, let's make that deal with the Dodgers. Beal, Biggio, and Dominguez out to Los Angeles. Wait for them to beat us in the World Series next year. And then as far as other starters that we have that we could get rid of, I know we signed some guys who were kind of obvious. Like Medeiros can go, for sure. Medeiros is on his way out. Nate Pearson's not going to develop at this point, being 24. Braxton Garrett's on the fringe. Let's go ahead and see if we can move Santiago. Let's just try to move these three and see who else we can get back in return. If anybody, nobody. I got a feeling that's because of Santiago probably dragging them down a little bit. Not to mention Medeiros is just a tad bit expensive. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I have one too many. Trejo's the guy to get rid of there. Can we get a 3-for-1? That is the goal. Pedro Morales, former WWF World Champion. Actually, there was an extra W in there. There should have been. Rhett Dooley. I mean, Rhett Dooley just won't go away. Every offer involves Rhett Dooley. Every single one. The Marlins, Gonzalez, 20A and a 55. I think that might be the right time to take that deal. I think that's the one. Over Morales, why not? We'll take the risk with Alejandro Gonzalez. Let's do that. So Medeiros, Pearson, and Trejo go out to Miami. And we're looking relatively good. At this point, as far as relievers go, we definitely need to stock up on guys who are closer to being Major League ready, just in case of injury. And Salas would actually be perfect. He's going to be pissed about being in the minors, but that's okay. If he's willing to accept that, I'm happy with it. Blevins, same thing. Sign him up. And we might have to sign someone else again. Let me make another jump cut and check back through all of this. So many moves, damn it. So many moves. All right, yet again, we have a couple of minor adjustments to make, but we are pretty much there. I did go through and sign Seung Hwan Oh as another AAA relief option, just to get a little bit of depth there in case of injury. But the big thing is currently in the outfield, Austin Blackburn and Gonzalez would both be down in single A. We want them both in double. So we are going to look to get rid of two outfielders, and I mean the ideal two, at least in my opinion, for Double-A or higher, would be Verdugo at 24. I don't really see him getting any better. You could argue Bryan as well, but I think Franmil Reyes is the guy I'm probably going to look to get rid of here just because of the addition of Santana. If we have trouble in terms of outfield depth, Santana is the first guy to get called up. Not to mention, we are carrying one extra outfielder anyway to try and keep DeShields for his pinch hitting ability. So I think Reyes and Verdugo are going to be on the way out. I will probably pair them with another starter, just because, again, we still have a little bit of extra depth there. And then we'll pretty much be good to go. Is there anybody else where it just really makes sense to trade them? Not really. I love the amount of depth that we have right now. Again, hopefully Santiago doesn't eliminate a trade possibility. Yeah, see, that's what happens sometimes when you try to trade someone that you've recently acquired. Can we get rid of Crespo? Or is he in the same boat? He's not in the same boat. Okay. So we have Junior Nunez, and again, I could make trades within the AL. Actually, this would be the type of spot where you could make a trade within the AL, where I'm not really giving up anybody who, outside of Reyes, probably represents an extreme chance of then coming back to bite us in the ass. So Rolando Villalobos is the perfect guy to try and steal away from a Baltimore, as an example. A Baltimore-type team, like the Yankees or Red Sox. Obviously, the Rays are the only other AL East team offering. But 20A and a 69 is great. I'm still going to look for the best, 3-for-1 option. So 20A and a 67. Yeah, Villalobos is still the best option here. Is there anybody else? Tejada? Absolutely not. Like I said, I want to keep our options open as far as, just having roster spots on the team. We're going to take that offer from Baltimore. Let's pick up Villalobos, not as if we needed another starter, but we basically just upgraded our starter by getting rid of some of the outfielders. So we're pretty much good to go. Villalobos will be down in Double-A to start the year, and that drops Pardinho into a depth role. So we still have quite a few depth starters that we don't really need, but I didn't exactly expect to find us in that situation. And yes, we have quite a few guys in the top prospects list. So of course, catching wise, it's still going to be Miella and Lino. I'm intrigued to see what a Jonah DiMaggio does at the AAA level, and whether or not the game itself can find a way to get him into the lineup full time. And just kind of out here, I'll scroll through. I'll give you a look, and then of course we'll take a look at what our lineup is shaping up to be, at least in terms of a DH sense. So we only have one right fielder, technically, one natural right fielder, but basically every outfielder can play all three spots, so I'm not all that concerned. So our rotation, let's just do that right now, right? We'll have Jamison Tyone be the ace. Eflin's going to be second. Lamet, Wood, and Liriano. Lester Martin's still in as the long reliever, but we have Givens, Hicks, Arano, Hendricks, Reed, and Doolittle, which that back three is looking good. I'm just intrigued to see if having two setup men causes one of the two to not get that many innings pitched. If that's the case, of course, we'll make certain changes if we have to. And then lineup-wise, it's pretty much what you would expect it to be. LeMahieu at second. If we are playing with a DH, obviously we move Hoskins over, and we're pretty much good to go, right? That's really all we have to do. Have Herrera in left, and Ciarte in right, and Marisnik at center, and we're golden. Whether or not, like an Areno or an Arias get into the lineup mid-season, we'll see. That really depends on how well Matt Duffy does, but that pretty much right there, outside of maybe the order changing, is pretty much what we're looking like as far as the lineup is concerned, and it's still really good. So despite the fact that we didn't get a Kershaw or a Mookie Betts, we're still shaping up to be a great team this season, and suddenly 16th in speed, 3rd in defense, 3rd in pitching, 1st in contact. We are a very well-rounded team. And as far as the top prospect list goes, we have a top 10, we have a top 9 guy in Ernie Quintana, the 9th ranked prospect, which is pretty solid. We're going to have a lot more, though. Villalobos is at 18. Chavez, also recently acquired, at 19. Murillo, 27. Arias, 28. Santana, 29. Lester Martin at 30. Montana's at 34. James Hu, the closer, is at 40. And at 50, Alan Ferris. So we're still set up quite well for the immediate future, and in the how we're set up in a great way regardless, is how you say it. The immediate future, the distant future, we're good to go. So with that, next episode, the season begins. There might be a couple of little tweaks and changes that I make. If I do, of course, I will let you know. But roster editing, roster management. I don't know what it is, but I find it addicting, getting all the pieces of the puzzle just perfectly fit together. It's resulted in this team. I'm happy. I'm excited for this season. We'll see what happens. So as always, thank you for watching. You know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, and notification bell, and all that fun stuff. I'll see you guys in the next one where Season 4 begins.